Trucking with Jazz. So today's video is going to be on things you should know about business tax. Okay, so let's talk about it. Business tax sounds scary. Filing taxes in general for a lot of people is scary, right? Because in your mind, you're like, I hope I didn't owe anything. I hope they give me back good money. And when we talk about business tax, it changed the whole game, right? So, personal taxes, you work, you get a W 2, you file. When you start getting 1099s, miscellaneous, right? That puts you in the independent contractor category. You start saying, ooh, did I go in and make quarterly taxes? If you Uber driver or something, that's not like a LLC. So on that time frame, when you look at that or those kind of taxes, you say, okay, they didn't pay, but they kind of saved up a little money at the end of the year because they know they're gonna wind up paying them something because they've been getting their money straight out. Now, when you go to business tax, here we go, right? It's your first year. You are a lease operator and you saying, how is this going to be? Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Is it going to be these big old words? Do I have all the documents? Am I going to get audited? You're thinking about all this stuff, right? In my very first year with Prime, I used Abacus. That is not a Prime company. That is a company, say I'm a tax service and I'm tax 1-800, right? And I go to Prime and I partner with Prime and say, hey, I want to rent out a space and provide taxes for your drivers. Maybe I rent out the space, or maybe I pay Prime a certain percentage because I have a lot of clients that we're filing. However they do it, but they are not a Prime company, just to be clear. So I used them my first year. First off, their service being with Prime, it was only $8 to be on their service, right? That's not picking a plan or anything. That's just having them is $8 a week, okay? Then you get to pick a package. The package could be $12, $22, $27, $30. I picked the highest package because at the time, I just wanted to cover all bases. So with the $30 package that I pay every week, it included them filing my taxes. It included two calls or in office like talks on how to grow my company. It had a few other things too, like a long list of things that they offer and provide because of that package I chose. Anybody that pick a package that's over, I think, like the $12, so it's like maybe 5 different tiers. The first tier is like a basic tier, but if you get to like I think the first 2 tiers is like the basic tier, like where it's like they just filing your taxes. But the third, fourth, and the fifth tier up in there price range, they cover everything. They cover your quarterly taxes. Like if you get, let's say if the first tier was $12, it's not going to give you estimated quarterly taxes. So in that case, IRS has a tax calculator, and based on what you earn, dictate, you plug it in on the calculator and then it'll spit out what you're supposed to pay. The downside to that is if you are not a person that's familiar with looking at your statements, seeing what you would calculate off to take off to know what that number's supposed to be, you will be a little lost, right? So, and two, if it's not itemized, because some people, they look at the settlements. Prime do have like a video, and they have they have a little video on it on how to do it, and also you can just like verify with like payroll, like to go over so you can better understand it. They actually had a class, like a slingshot class, that kind of broke it down. But yeah, you just got to be inquisitive when it comes to learning about stuff that's going to be beneficial for you and support you as a business owner. So again, I went for the higher package. They did my quarterly taxes. They would wait till the week of. So say if the taxes was due on that Friday, literally that Monday is when they'll be like, okay, we calculated based off of your settlements that came in, and every month your statement that you were showing that you paid outside of what we can see on your settlement. So it was a sheet and it had columns, and on that column it had if I paid office supply, if I bought equipment, office equipment, if I bought supplies for my truck, if I bought clothing, nothing food related, no food, but like if I bought clothing, if I bought like equipment, any of that stuff, your cell phone bill that you pay, if you had a hotel, maybe you use your credit card, um, or you spun it out of your business account and you use you paid $300 for a hotel under your business. That stuff you can write off. So if you submitted that along with your and they're looking at your weekly settlements because they have access to that, they can give you, close estimated quarterly taxes. Now, some people say, well, why? I filed the tax, I paid the quarterly taxes, but then the IRS assessed and they said I still owed them. That's why it's called estimated. Um, it's not exact, it's estimated quarterly taxes. And the IRS could go back in and say, okay, we don't deem this, which the IRS has a very like if you sign up for the irs.gov, you're able to go into your tax transcript and look at that stuff. That stuff is free, guys. You can request it to come home. You can sit here. It's readily accessible to you online. You can literally look at it, read it. So um if anybody have a hard time with it, let me know. I can literally do a screen record and pull up one, and we can go line by line. If you want me to break it down for you guys, like put in the comments if that's something that you guys into or want to know. Let me also know if you guys want me to like open a free TurboTax form or whatever and do a John Doe and create like log in, put in fake information, but like showing you guys how it look. I want to just encourage you guys that it's not complicated. It's something that you can do on your own. You can also, like if you're paying for the higher package, of course, let them file. But if you're not paying for the higher package, you can just verify with them. If I paid an $8 fee and I want to go with the simplest package, which is $12 fee, at the end of the year, can I get a profit, a Schedule C profit, loss, and gain, or gain/loss form? And they will tell you yes or no. And if they offer that service to you, which I know they do because I received mine, I was not able to file my taxes with them because they wanted me to continue to pay them, but at a higher rate because I had left Prime, and I was not willing to do that. So I asked for a profit Schedule C. I asked them for a profit, loss, and gain form. It was itemized, detailed, so to say, fueling, and it'll say how much I was fueled. It'll say, which it showed me my column for my first year and my second year. That was cool. And the last column on the right is your actual for that current year, just in case you got confused. If you guys ever had one and you got confused and it came from Abacus, usually it's the last column is the actual column that's showing the accurate number. So it'll, like I said, it'll be itemized. It'll be like if you had a student, this is what you paid for workers' comp for the student. This is what you paid, for the medical for the student. This is what you paid for the fuel costs. And you just go over to that line when you're filling out your 1040. Let me clarify. So when it comes to business tax, if you're not a corporation filing a C Corp or S Corp, going under those filing statuses, and you just a regular LLC, like an independent contractor, basic, right? And you did not select a S Corp or a C Corp for your corporation. First of all, that's when you're in a higher ranking, like a higher tax bracket, real high. Second off, you would file a K1 form. In this case, if you just a limited LLC with Prime, you do not, if you chose not to file a case as an S Corp or C Corp, then you don't got to worry about this K1 thing I'm talking about. But this K1 thing is how they be able to, how those owners are able to really write off bigger stuff and larger amounts, because of course they're trying to get their what they owe down by writing off a lot of things. Due to us not Look, we not over here putting cars in our name, writing it off, putting the car in our name. We didn't put the house, the business, like that house that we got when you put it in our business name. We didn't put that car in our business name. We not with a business credit card flying back and forth. Like that stuff that you can write off. You're not going across seas, making, paying for your whole trip with your business card and making sure that you go to an international bank or go speak with somebody, get a card, have a pamphlet saying, "Hey, I went and sat down with Sarah Mulala, and we was talking about this that was business related to your industry." If you ain't doing that, because you got to have proof in the pudding. Don't just think you can just write stuff off and then you like, yeah, I want to swipe my business card and I took this trip, and then you ain't do no business in that country. You ain't go do no conference. You got to set things up if you want to write stuff up. That's for another video. But like I said, back to the basics. You will file, you can use TurboTax or you can use Free Tax USA, which they don't charge you. TurboTax, I think they charged me $40. At that time I was filing a 1040 form, and you do a Schedule C. Actually, that was for my regular tax, just a 1040. When it came to me saying I had a 1099, I paid a total of, I think it was $298. I sat here online, which that cost was to have a tax professional do your taxes for you. So initially, I plugged everything in on my own. I read the column, I plugged it in. Before I hit submit, I said, oh my God, what if I'm doing it incorrect? I was just nervous. I went ahead, I paid for the service, the $298. The lady evaluated what I put and said, who do you know who put this information in? I said, ma'am, I went through and I just answered the question line by line. She said, you was doing this correct. She said, you should not, I will not hit the submit button. You can ask for a refund because you can do this on your own. So that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. She went and withdrew herself from the account, and I submitted on my own for an even cheaper amount, and my taxes came back fine. The IRS sent me a letter and everything was fine. You get letters if they like did any kind of adjustments or if they said you owed any money, which in my case I did owe like a few $1,000s, but it didn't kill anything. Another pet peeve is like I said, just don't be scared. You have people that's out here that will scare you. You will say, oh, I'm a business, a truck. I'm a business. I'm an owner op and I have a truck. Okay, you may have one truck, and it depends on your situation. If you're a truck driver and you're making a lot of money and you paying a lot of stuff, or you may have filed your entity as an S corp or C corp, that will differentiate if you're gonna pay something a little higher or a little lower with a tax person, because it depends on how much work and effort they got to put in. Are you a person that's organized, have all your receipts right here? Because some people don't have like an abacus where they line up and put your information on that line and say, hey, you didn't spend $16,000 for gas. And then, or like with Prime, their statements, they'll show itemized, like your fuel was this for this week. And then it has a column where it's showing you for the year as it's totaling up. The same as if you making your income and said, you made $600 this week. Then next week they add another $600 and they're showing year to date $1,200. Not everybody have their stuff like that in Prime do. So that's a plus. Okay. So again, like I said, things you should know about taxes. For sure, making sure you look into what you can write off, making sure that you file your taxes on time, making sure that you pay your quarterly taxes. Try not to allow yourself to get hit with penalties by waiting. Some people do wait and pay at the end of the year. What people fail to realize, you hear a lot of people say, oh, you don't got to worry about it. You can pay your tax at the end of the year. Listen, even though people pay their tax at the end of the year, are you advising them of the extra taxes and penalties they're paying? Are you showing them? Anybody, if you want to know, anybody that's there filing taxes or have filed taxes, go log in, especially if you're a truck driver. Go log in and look at your tax transcript, and it'll show you what you paid that year in penalties. what did you pay, and for paying it late. They charge interest, they charge penalties, and let's not say if you get in a payment plan, they have all these different payment structures, and a lot of people say, oh, they have a tax forgiveness. Listen, I just called. It's not a tax forgiveness. I cannot remember. It start with a C. You can look it up online. Maybe it don't start with a C. I can't remember the word at this moment, but if I find it when I upload this video, I would drop it in um, the description box so you guys can go click and see if you can qualify. If you make too much money, in my case, I made too much money. They was like, girl, you can pay this money, so we not going to give you this exception. It's some type of exception. So it'll let you plug in all the bills that you pay. Remember, if you submit it, they look at it, like you submit it and they say, hey, you qualify. Make sure the proof is in the pudding, because you're going to have to submit the documents that you're paying all that stuff. Okay. And then once they go ahead and approve you and say, okay, you do have a difficult situation, you can't pay us back all the money. Let's say you owe $10,000 and they're willing to take $4,000. At that time, after they assess everything, they'll say, okay, we'll go ahead and grant you this. And it's not something you can do every year. And they'll go ahead and say, okay, we'll let you pay this amount of money. And then they'll also let you know how much time you have on it. And if interest, usually when you're paying them, they do not stop interest on you paying it. Unless you have a set, like I'm paying it in 6 months, they may say for 6 months, we just going to make you pay an additional $400. And it will stop at that $400. But if you chose like a bigger plan, say for instance, you're paying back $8,000 and you couldn't do the 6 month plan. So they have a plan where it's like, I think 3 months, 6 months, and then until whenever you finish paying it. But when you do the whenever you finish paying it option, they will, you didn't pay the debt. So they already have penalties and fees on it already. And then if you pick the unlimited, they will then say, okay, the full amount, we're going to tack on an extra $3,000 because we're giving you to whenever to pay that. That is true. It's in fact. And if you want to verify that, guys, go log on to your IRS account. If you're not negative or don't owe them nothing, then it's not going to pop up. But maybe I can go and look and show you guys from mine and just show you the different options. Which, first of all, I'm in a 6 month payment plan for them. So, I'm past a certain point where it's like we not letting you change it to another option. So I probably couldn't show you, but I'll figure it out. If I can play around with it, I will for sure see how I can show you guys either screenshots of it or pull it up and do some screen record. But yeah, like I stated, don't be scared to file your own taxes. I get people don't be wanting to do it wrong. Don't fall for the okie doke when people talking about $10,000 to do your taxes. It does not cost that much. You are not a Walmart entity, okay? You know, you're not a KFC. Like, don't shy away and be nervous and scared about stuff like that. I know that in some cases, some people use that, but that's not everybody's case, especially if you, like I said, just a regular prime driver. And I was teen, okay? Basic 1040, and then I did a Schedule C, and that was it. Literally. Filed it electronically. Boom, my stuff was clear. Waited a few weeks. I saw it popped up. I saw when they started making changes because I go to the tax transcript. If they didn't make changes, when you click your tax transcript for that year, it will come up blank, showing like they ain't do nothing. When they have made changes, looked at it, audited it in any form, and computerized it, it'll pop up where you can see your transcript. So that's just things to know about business tax. If you guys have any other questions or concerns or thoughts on anything you want me to touch on that I missed, please drop it in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for getting me to 440. I do apologize that I haven't been on my game posting videos, but I'm sitting right here in one sitting trying to get these videos out for you guys. And two, game day is tomorrow, Miami Dolphins. So, I'm not going to be doing nothing. I'm going to upload these videos for you guys, and I just hope you guys enjoy it. Again, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Peace, love, and chicken grease.